see, as how we discussed before, that human beings contain a high quantity of whey protein, but animals contain high quantity of casein protein. Therefore, their composition, it varies from species to species. That is genetically determined. But also we have seasonal variation. Seasonal variation we have, for instance, through winter, there is a high quantity of protein and fatty and minerals through winter. But in rainy season, due to green grasses, we may find variation as compared in winter season. But also nutritional variation. The nutritional variation, overfeeding, we have to remember here, the nutrients that are being taken in by a breastfeed mom, it vary, it makes variation to a milk. But something to remember, overfeeding has no effect on composition of milk. Overfeeding has no effect on composition of milk unless underfeeding, that is malnourished, that is, for instance, those who are having low weight to height ratio, they have what? The milk composition, it is affected compared to those with normal BMI. But also we have infection of mammary gland. The infection of mammary gland affect the composition of milk. For instance, mastitis. Mastitis, in mastitis there is high quantity of whey protein, but also there is low quantity of casein, fatty, and lactose. That are factors that affect the milk composition. Let us see on general composition of human milk. We have, as I told you before, we had 87.5, it is water, 3.8% it is fatty, but also we have 1.0% protein and 7% of lactose. As how we see here, the percentage of human milk contain less quantity of protein, and that is why we see there is slow growth of human being as compared to other species. Yeah, but the rule of fat, about 50% are used for total energy, but other percent are used for other growth. For instance, through human we have long chain polyunsaturated fatty acid that are used for the growth of what? For the growth of brain and central nervous system. But also lactose used for provision of energy, about 40%. But also on lactose, it is better to remember, lactose in milk provides glucose and galactose. The glucose is an essential nutrient for the brain function. It is the primary nutrient utilized by the brain as a source of energy. But also on galactose, galactose serves in the gastrointestinal system for the growth of lactobacillus, but also lactose, it is slowly digested. It is slowly digested by the human being. As how do we know? Therefore, if it is slowly broken down by human being, it is an advantage for the glucose balance in the blood. The glucose balance, it is said to exceed. That means there will be no over glucose. But also protein, it is low in human being, but the protein from human being has a high effort on digestion, but also easily absorbed and more efficient on neutralization. Therefore, it is better to utilize the human protein either from animal protein, because the human protein are easily absorbed, as how we talked before on whey protein are easily absorbed and is one which is high in human being. Also, let us see on benefit and the nutritive value of milk. Nutritive value of milk. Milk is an almost ideal food it supplies. We have building proteins, we have bone forming minerals, we have health giving vitamins, energy giving sugar, and milk fatty and essential fatty. Through essential fatty acid, we have essential fatty acid, that the fatty acid that the lipid that are the fatty acid that can't be made by the body, that we require them, we need from the diet. And these fatty acids in some researches have been studied to be linked with the growth of the brain, and provide an advantage through cognitive function. Through minerals, the milk contain high quantity of calcium and phosphorus that serves an advantage for the bone growth, osteogenesis, the bone growth of a baby, but also the calcification of teeth. Ina maana it strengthens the bone and the teeth, but also decrease the requirement of vitamin D. Therefore, milk has an advantage. But also we have milk fatty. Milk fatty, we have milk provides energy, but also provide an essential fat. An essential fat, we have linoleic, linolenic, and arachidonic that are involved through the growth of central nervous system and improves the cognitive function of a baby. But also the most distinctive role which milk fat play in dairy product contain flavor. Milk fat impart soft body, smooth texture, and rich taste to dairy product. But also we have lactose. Lactose is the major carbohydrate that we get from the milk. That lactose aids in calcium and phosphorus absorption. That reduces the requirement of vitamin D. But also lactose, it supplies energy. Better to note the first point to lactose. But also lactose also help to establish slight acid reduction in the intestine. The lactose have been converted into lactic acid. Once are being converted into lactic acid, it provides an environment that is better for survival of lactobacillus. But also those environment, it is harmful. It reduces pH into acidic nature. The acidic nature helps to avoid the pathogenic microorganism, pathogenic bacteria. That is an advantage for lactose. But also we have minerals. The milk almost contain all essential minerals for the body, but it is an excellent source of calcium and phosphorus. both of which, along with vitamin D, are essential for bone formation. That means it supplies calcium and phosphorus. When interact with vitamin B, they assist in formation of bone and teeth. But also milk is rather low in copper and iron. Milk contains low quantity of copper and iron. Therefore, if it's the baby, it is because iron is involved in RBC formation, but also it is involved in making the cells and the other tissues. Therefore, a supplement of iron may be applied so that to overcome the problem associated with iron deficiency. But also in vitamin, milk is a good source of vitamin A, D, E, and K, thiamine, riboflavin, and other vitamin B complex. However, deficiency in vitamin C. The vitamin C is an antioxidant that protect polyunsaturated fatty acids that are essential and better in the body. Prevent oxidation of unsaturated fatty acid. Therefore, milk is deficient in vitamin C. But also, we have a question concerning with our discussion. What is the primary carbohydrate in breast milk, and what are the three of its benefits? It is a simple question to test our understanding. Yes, an answer. The primary carbohydrate, it is lactose. The benefit of lactose are, are like this. Largest in brain size. Largest in brain size. That means it assists in growth of brain. Lactose, when broken down, produces glucose. The glucose are utilized by the brain for growth to increase their size. Human milk is the sweetest of all mammal milk. It provides the sweetest of milk, enhances calcium as well as iron absorption. Lactose, we have lactoferrin. Lactoferrin, lactoferrin aids in calcium and iron absorption. Therefore, it is an advantage for the what? For the lactose, but also supply the brain so fuel glucose. Also inhibit the growth of harmful intestinal pathogen. As I told you, it sometimes convert into lactic acid. Lactic acid decreases the pH. Therefore, inhibit if the pH is reduced, it inhibit the growth of harmful pathogen in the intestine. But also it is digested slow, so that it helps to overcome the hyperglycemia in the blood. That is an advantage for lactose in milk. Okay, we end here. My name is Nasiro Eric Morishdi. I will be with you through this presentation. Hopeful you have understood, but don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment for any case. Thank you.